All right, so we still have the company man, the sellout, the piece of trash, the guy who got exposed by Teofimo is still talking shit in the media. He's really butthurt, and he's gonna go on and on still about how Teofimo should have lost. We know. So this is gonna be the same thing in probably every single fight. This guy's trying to stir the pot, create doubt in the minds of all these different people. Let's see this trash.
Ortiz, tell us why he won that fight in your eyes.
Chris must be on the pay scale too. Chris, you got your check sent to you, Chris? Man. Come on,
And so here you go. You got this idiot literally revealing that there's some commentators that are given paychecks in order to say certain things. I'm gonna guess Tim Bradley's one of them. The guy is such a chronic liar that it wouldn't shock me if Tim Bradley has been paid money to say what he's currently saying here.
You a boxer, Chris. You come on now, man.
The interesting thing about this entire interview is that you got Paulie Malignaggi. There's some moderator guy, I don't know who the hell he is. You have Tim Bradley, the total sellout piece of trash. And then you have Chris Algieri over here, who's probably the only real analyst in the whole room. He's the only one that knows the rules of the sport, and he actually points out that he thought he's the only guy there. He is the only man in that room that thought Teofimo won. You got what's his name over here, Paulie Malignaggi, that's talking about that he thought Ortiz won because Teofimo didn't have a game plan. It's what the fuck? Since when do we score fights based on if a fighter has a game plan? It's the whole thing is stupid, but it's funny because the only one who has anything real to say through the whole interview is Chris Algieri, and now you got this seal over here who's trying to talk trash about him, saying that he got paid, got a check in the mail. It's ridiculous.
Why Ortiz won the fight? He controlled every aspect of the fight. He's the one that made the fight what it was.
Oh, he's the one that made the fight what it was? Yes, it was a piece of shit. It was a fucking turd. Yes, thank you, Ortiz, for making the fight a fucking turd.
Look, a lot of punches weren't thrown and landed. I can probably count on both hands how many punches landed between the two. And I'm talking about effective punches. So a lot of these rounds were judged on the second criteria of the scoring. That's what it was. So it's called effective aggression. Now, what does that mean? You think you got to be aggressive coming off on your front foot. No, you don't. You can be aggressively on your back foot, making the guy miss, making him pay with counters. And that's exactly...
That's not what happened. And also, that makes no fucking sense. You cannot be running from a fight and then say you're being aggressive. Aggressiveness is coming forward. Being confrontational is coming in, walking into the fire, not running away from it. Aggression is coming forward, not running away. There's no such thing as aggression from a fucking runner. What he's saying doesn't even make any sense. This guy is creating his own version of reality in words and what words mean. In boxing, what? The aggressor is now the guy that runs away? So you're gonna tell me that Marcos, let's go back to the Floyd versus Maidana fight. We're gonna say that Floyd was the aggressor in that second fight, right? Was he? No, he wasn't. He was running his ass off. What he's saying makes no fucking sense. And it's once again, anything to shit on this Teofimo guy. He wants to create this illusion that this Ortiz guy won, and he's going to say anything to try to sell this to people.
Exactly what Ortiz did. It's called the ring general, being the ring general, because...
Look, people, I've said it in the last video. Ortiz would never set his feet because Teofimo was coming forward. The simple fact that he could not set his feet is automatically means that Teofimo was in control of that fight. Teofimo set the pace of it. All Ortiz did was survive it. He was just running. Also, if Teofimo's taken the center of the ring, he's already winning. That's it. He's already taken the center, and now he's walking you down. Your back is literally inches away from the ropes. You're not winning. You're not winning. Whatever this guy's saying here is all bullshit.
A whole lot of punches thrown. There were more punches thrown than there was in Shakur Stevenson de los Santos. Shakur fought off his back foot a lot. Ortiz stood his ground in spots. And Ortiz even when Lopez was like, come here in the corner. He said, oh, okay, I'll come in the corner. I'll beat you up a little bit more, and I'll get back on my game plan.
Yeah, your game plan of running.
Who had the strategy going into the fight from the first round?
The strategy was a track meet.
Ortiz. He was the ring general, the ring genius throughout the night. And so, if you can't score a round between clean punches thrown, then you scored on who's the ring general.
Yeah, and it wasn't Ortiz, bro. It wasn't Ortiz. He was not the ring general. And I don't know what school of how the fuck did they hire this guy? Like, really, he doesn't even know the rules of the fucking sport. Now, effective aggressiveness is running away. Like, who the fuck hired this guy?
So in that, let's go back to De Los Santos fight. The ring general was Shakur. He was the ring general.
No, it wasn't. Everybody thought that fucking Shakur lost that fight. He fought like a little bitch bum. He ran away the whole time. Everyone thought that Shakur lost that fight. So this guy's standard for a fight, like basically he's saying that this fight versus Ortiz and Teofimo wasn't fixed. He's saying like it should have been fixed so that the guy that lost wins. And so he's comparing it to Shakur's last fight that looked like they gave it to the bigger fighter. That's what they did. They gave it to the guy who was the more well-known fighter, right? So we're just supposed to apply this to the Teo fight and give the guy that lost the win, which is just disgusting.
He was fighting when he wanted to fight on his terms. The same thing was here. However, the problem is Ortiz's name isn't Sugar Ray Leonard. It's not Shakur Stevenson. It's not Floyd Mayweather. It's the fact that his name is Ortiz. That's what it is. He's not the house. He's not the house. He's not bringing money.
It sounded like there was a lot of booze going on in that room, dude. The Puerto Rican / Dominican fan base is really big. They're bigger than Teofimo, he's like Honduran or something. Like that's not a huge fan base there. That guy Ortiz for sure has probably tons of people that would have watched him if they would have gave him the win. The thing is that I spoke about in my last video. Bob Arum, he said that he saw this guy Ortiz winning 1 or 2, maybe 3 rounds, which is basically the exact same score we gave him. I gave him 1 round, and in my video I had said I could give him maybe 3 if I was very generous. But really, the only round they gave Ortiz was the 4th, and that was the round where Teo laid on the ropes and let Ortiz come forward and kind of hit him a couple of times. Nothing on it really, and in reality, it was Teo who was playing games with this guy because he had this bitch running all fight long, and at one point he laid himself on the ropes. The guy came forward, he threw some punches, Teo laughed at him, and then he continued to walk him down. So who really was in control? Right, Mr. Timothy Bradley? He's butthurt still because the guy that he hates, the guy that exposed him, he didn't lose.
That's a little bit of an emotional take as far as the anger at the lack of entertainment. And that's, you can be angry at lack of entertainment, but it doesn't not apply to doing the right thing or not doing the right thing. I don't know if you can really make a hard case for you.
Look how beat up Ortiz's face is. He's all beat up. And he's huge too. He's bigger than Teo. And he was running like a bitch.
Guy, I didn't think you could give Lopez more than 6 rounds.
More than 6 rounds. No, you couldn't give him nowhere near 6 rounds. Again, this dude's full of shit. Let's move forward. You can't give him more than 6 rounds. He's trying to act like this shit was a draw. The dude barely threw punches. All he did was fucking run the whole fight.
More punches. Punch stats I don't count, bro. I know even the ESPN analysts, you guys love those.
Now he doesn't count punch stats, yeah. Anything to make Teo lose, huh? So they got here's the punch stats. You got Teo landing what? 78, Ortiz 80. What did Ortiz throw? Little taps? Little tiny taps, and Teo hit him with some decent straight punches to the body. 364. I don't see any of these punches. I don't know what the fuck they were counting because Ortiz did barely anything. Maybe that's a step counter, right? Maybe that's what that was.
I got it either a draw or edging to Lopez. A draw or edging to Ortiz. On my end, there was one guy with a game plan and a path to victory, and he was executing it.
All right, so it looks like Bob Arum's in the media talking about the Teofimo Lopez fight. Arum really showing that he knows how to score a fight, but these idiots don't. All right, let's read some of this. All right, so it says, rather than place blame on the judges and Jermaine for the outcome of the fight, Arum should take a closer look at Teofimo and realize that he is not as skilled as he thinks. Attempting to manipulate the fight's result and shifting the blame onto Jermaine will not convince the fans that Teo deserved the victory. Fans are not easily fooled, and Arum should reconsider his support for Teofimo. Like, look how negative all this stuff is, right? Isn't it kind of weird? It's kind of weird how negative people are. Well, the media is. It is evident that Teofimo's performance was abysmal, and Arum may be wasting his time trying to defend him. Arum should consider parting ways with Teo, as he lacks the talent to compete against the best in the division and is showing signs of mental unraveling. All right, so isn't this hilarious that this writer is putting all the blame? Let's take all the blame off of Ortiz and let's put it all on the back of Teofimo, the guy who is the champion, the man who was pressing the action, you know, the man who was pressing the fucking action. What is he supposed to do? Run after the challenger? I mean, the saying is you're supposed to beat the champion, right? How are you beating the champion when all you're doing is fucking running? All right, let's read the rest of this. All right, very negative. He's like, he should drop Teofimo. Why? And also, he's saying, this writer is saying that Teofimo can't compete at the top level. Teofimo fought Lomachenko in a fight that was way closer than that Devin Haney trash. And they worship that guy, right? This is a guy who gave Loma one of the hardest fights of his entire career. And they're going to say he can't compete at the top level. Are you kidding? I don't know who this writer is, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So we're going to see right here that Bob Arum actually knows what he's talking about. He actually scores it much closer to what we scored it as. All right, so let's read this. Arum, who serves as Teofimo's promoter and aims to transform him into a successful pay-per-view star, expressed his disappointment with the fight. He stated, it was really terrible. We've had some significant fights, and he has always been a competitive warrior. Arum placed the blame on Jermaine Ortiz for Teofimo's underwhelming performance, claiming that he ran around the ring instead of engaging in proper boxing. Arum questioned the official scoring as he believed the fight was far from close. He only gave Ortiz 2 or maybe 3 rounds, deeming the whole situation disgraceful. So Arum's over here saying that Ortiz is disgraceful, and his score is actually almost identical to the one that we have. I actually gave Ortiz 1 round, but I said in our video that I would at the most I can give him 2 or 3. I could have maybe given Ortiz 1 or 2 more rounds, maybe, if I was generous. But I think, Teo was the ring general. He was landing, I thought he was landing the better blows. No real good clean blows throughout, but I think the better blows were from Teofimo. I thought Ortiz was just running a lot. I thought he was running a little too much. That was it, but I wasn't being generous. So Arum is showing that he actually knows how to score a fight. The majority of the fans do not. All right, so there you go. I mean, a lot of shit talking. Tim Bradley, very, very angry. But yeah, I'm going to be getting out of here, people. See you later.